amazing series.
Thank you for joining the amazing series. I am your host, Ama. I am at ENAT Bank and I'm here to meet a woman who is a trailblazer in Ethiopia. Her name is Meaza Ashenafi. She is an activist. She advocates for women's rights, and I would say that when it comes to Ethiopian women, you probably find few like her who have championed the rights of women. Meaza, thank you for joining us on an amazing series.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be on this series.
I found your story particularly fascinating because you came from an era where educating girls in Ethiopia wasn't a priority for this country. Tell me, how do you explain your success?
Thank you very much, Amma. You're so generous and kind. I think my success comes from a family who believed in education, and particularly mother who is hardworking and who value education. And my mother was a big role model for myself as well as my other siblings, and it was, I think, largely due to her encouragement and support that I managed to get the required education to be independent and the woman I am today.
When the world thinks of Ethiopia, we think of it as a poverty-stricken country, and we rarely hear of the story of the independent, empowered woman who is at the forefront of change in this country. Do you think the global view of Ethiopia in that negative light, is it accurate?
Unfortunately, many people around the world do not have adequate information about Ethiopia and Ethiopian women. And I believe that is changing slowly but surely. Ethiopia is a country where you find rich history and culture, hardworking people, people who can learn quite fast in any trade. Of course, we have disadvantages, and we have cultural values that also to some extent oppress some part of the population, such as women. But nonetheless, I think Ethiopia is, as you know, becoming one of the fastest growing countries in the world. And I believe Ethiopia is a country with a lot of potential, but that's unknown to many.
I know that women are making headway in Ethiopia, but I also know that there are some traditional practices that pose as huge challenges and obstacles to the advancement of women, and specifically early child marriages, female genital mutilation, fistula, child abduction. There's so many things that still hinder the progress of women in this era. What kind of progress is being made to make sure these traditional practices really come to an end?
Yeah, as you know, these are big challenges, and harmful traditional practices are embedded in our culture, and it's not expected to change things dramatically within 10 years or 20 years. But nonetheless, if you look at the data, things are improving. Harmful traditional practice was, for example, if we take female genital mutilation, it used to be practiced in almost in the 90% of our communities, but now that data is coming down to an average of 60%. So similar to abduction, similar to early marriage and so on, we have legal frameworks in place criminalizing female genital mutilation, early marriage, abduction and so on. So enforcement of laws is a persistent challenge, but we're working on it.
You mentioned that you were a huge advocate for women's rights, and now you're one of a group of women who started a fascinating new venture, and it's called the ENAT Bank.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about the ENAT Bank?
The ENAT Bank is again another sort of bold initiative by a group of women entrepreneurs, and as well as women professionals. Actually, this was an initiative that was started through a casual conversation between myself and another friend of mine, Sarah Aberra. After a few months of consultation and dialogue, we have solicited the support of 10 women in business and professionals. Through the hard work and dedication of these 12 women, we managed to establish a bank. 64% of the equity of this bank is owned by women, and majority of board members are women, and we are expecting to start business very soon. We are under establishment, and we're looking forward to the operation of the bank.
Is it really important to have a bank that is owned by women? Why is that important?
Yeah, this bank is for all. It's a bank for all, but the objective of the bank is to support women entrepreneurs, but also to use women as a niche market, because there's a lot of potential. Women have not been, they were not able to access the formal banks as much as men do. What we try to do is, it's a universal banking service that we're planning to give, and it's a bank for all, but we want to use women as a niche market. So it's not exclusively for women, it's for all, but we make special focus on women.
You sound so fearless. Any presidential aspirations? I like how you erupted into laughter. It means that I touched on a nerve.
I'm not in politics. I am completely in a different. My life is in a different. I'm engaged in a different way. I'm a human rights activist. I'm a promoter of social development and so on, but not exactly politics.
Meeting the general population in different sectors of Ethiopia has really changed my own mind about how I viewed the country. What do you want the world to know about your Ethiopia?
I think for many years the situation of Ethiopia and the Ethiopians have been misunderstood because Ethiopia has been the poster child of famine and poverty. But things are changing, slowly but surely. Ethiopia is changing. Ethiopia is one of the fastest developing countries in the world in terms of economic development. Ethiopia is a country which has a rich history and very deep culture. And I think time is coming where the international community will understand Ethiopia as a land of promise and a land of opportunity.
You embody the hope and the opportunity that this country really has to offer the world. And I'm very proud of you, from one woman to another, as someone that I add you to the list of people that I look up to now. And as you go forward, I wish ENAT Bank all the success.
Thank you very much, Alma, and I would also appreciate the fact that you have traveled all the way from Canada to come and learn about African women and what we are doing on the ground, and thank you very much. This is quite an encouragement because it's good for women to feel that, whenever they do something important or something useful, it's good for them to know that at least somebody else is watching, and that will encourage them to do their best. And thank you for coming all the way.
Thank you. Amazing series.